Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on funding and incentives to finance energy efficiency improvements in your facility. My name is Amy Jordan, and I'll be your host for today. I have a few housekeeping items to cover before we get started. All attendees are automatically muted with your cameras turned off. If you have any technical difficulties with accessing or hearing the presentation, use the chat pad and we'll try to correct them promptly. You can submit questions at any time during this 80 to 90-minute presentation using the question and answer button. However, we'll wait until our Q&A period at the end of the webinar to answer your questions. This will allow us to move through the material more efficiently. If you have any questions after the webinar is over, please email them to pentap@psu.edu. This webinar is being recorded and will be uploaded on the Pentap website. In a few days, you'll receive an email notifying you when the recording is available. We're very excited to have three wonderful guest speakers for today's webinar. Our first speaker is Samantha Harmon. Ms. Harmon has been an employee of the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection for over 17 years, serving as an air quality program specialist with a focus on mobile sources in DEP's Bureau of Air Quality Central Office. Ms. Harmon assumed the role of DEP Small Business Ombudsman in April 2021. The Small Business Ombudsman Office within the DEP was established for the purpose of serving as the confidential primary point of contact for small businesses on issues related to compliance with the Pennsylvania Air Pollution Control Act and the Federal Clean Air Act. The Ombudsman makes sure that the department gives fair considerations to topics that are important to small businesses. Ms. Harmon acts as an advocate and offers many other services to small businesses to help them improve environmental compliance, reduce costs, including administration of the Small Business Advantage Grant Program and the Pollution Prevention Assistance Account Loan Program. Ms. Harmon is a lifelong Pennsylvania resident, growing up around Philadelphia and calling Central PA home for the last 20 years. She has a bachelor's degree in earth sciences with an environmental hazards and emergency management minor and a master's degree in emergency management, both from Millersville University. Our second speaker is Eric Menard. Eric is the assistant program manager at Willdan. He has extensive experience in commercial and industrial HVAC and controls, including project management and system design. With strong background in lighting, Eric brings a comprehensive approach to energy solutions. He currently manages the First Energy PA retro commissioning program for Willdan, where he ensures optimal performance and energy efficiency in building systems. Additionally, Eric plays a pivotal role in direct outreach, engaging with customers and contractors across PA to promote sustainable practices and energy savings. Our third speaker is Deanna Weaver. Deanna is a PE. She graduated from Grove City College with a BSME degree. After college, Deanna spent over 20 years in heavy industry, where she designed industrial fans for Robinson Fans Incorporated. After that, she transitioned into the energy efficiency world, where she has been for the past 8.5 years, focusing on the implementation of Act 129 utility-related programs in Pennsylvania. Deanna is currently at Franklin Energy as the Senior Program Manager for the First Energy PA C&I program. And my name is Amy Jordan. I'm the South Central Pennsylvania Technical Advisor with Pentap. After 28 years of working in manufacturing, I became a certified energy manager and now enjoy working with small to mid-sized companies to reduce their energy consumption and connect to Penn State students, faculty, and university facilities. When I'm not looking for ways to reduce my carbon footprint at home, I enjoy spending time with my family, taking road trips, and tending to my many animals and garden. Our agenda for today Our three presenters will share information about their programs, then I will present other statewide funding programs and discuss how PennTap can support you with these programs as well. Finally, we'll end with a question and answer session, which will include commonly asked questions. So Samantha, take it away. You're on mute right now. There we go.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can, thank you.
Okay. Sorry, my mute button disappeared.
Oh, sorry.
I was just kind of hitting an open space hoping that I unmuted. Oh, that's a new one. I've not had that happen before. So
technical difficulties, right?
yes, very small ones. So thankful. If that's it, we're happy. All right, so let's jump in. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. So I want to say thank you for PennTap for hosting this webinar. As mentioned, my name is Samantha Harmon. I'm the Small Business Ombudsman at the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. So I do have a lot of information to share with you regarding funding opportunities through the department for small businesses to improve their energy efficiency or reduce pollution from their businesses. So with that, we'll jump to the presentation. I should be able to do that. Okay. So small businesses are defined in different ways by different entities. However, they are a significant segment of the employers in Pennsylvania. So there's 1.1 million small businesses in Pennsylvania. Small businesses employ over 2.6 million people. 45.8% of the private sector labor force are small businesses. And 99.6% of the state employers are small businesses. So clearly they are a very significant portion of the business community in Pennsylvania. So over the last several years, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania has dedicated itself to incorporating the concepts of diversity, equity, and inclusion, also called DEI, across all aspects of state government. So I wanted to share a few statistics with you demonstrating the diverse world of small businesses in Pennsylvania. So women made up 47.9% of workers and 39.8% of business owners. Racial minorities were 17.6% workers and 13.2% of the businesses. Hispanics, 6.5% of workers and 5.1% of business. And veterans made up 4.2% of the workers and owned 5.9% of the businesses in Pennsylvania. As part of this commitment to DEI, the department's also working on resources to make grant documents and the online applications accessible in languages other than English. We're also working to make sure that products are accessible to deaf or hard of hearing Pennsylvanians. So if you have specific questions about accessibility or foreign language accommodation relating to the grant programs, please contact me directly. Oh, that didn't quite. Come on. There we go. Okay. So I head the Small Business Ombudsman's Office. The Small Business Ombudsman Office is part of the Pennsylvania Small Business Environmental Assistance Program, which also includes the Small Business Compliance Advisory Committee and the Small Business Environmental Compliance Assistance Program. So among those three, the range of responsibilities includes technical compliance assistance and administering the small business funding programs. So the SBO office specifically provides information on energy efficiency and pollution prevention opportunities, including potential funding sources and the benefits of taking action. Two of those that we're going to discuss are the Small Business Advantage Grant and the Pollution Prevention Assistance Account Loan. The next slides will review these programs in detail, followed by additional funding opportunities at the department. Oh, I think I went too far. Next. Okay. So we'll start with the Small Business Advantage Grant. This year marks the 21st year of funding. So the grant, to be eligible, the project it's for Pennsylvania-based small businesses with 100 or fewer full-time equivalent employees, and that includes all businesses under common ownership or management. The project must save a business at least $500 and 20% annually in energy or pollution prevention related expenses. This includes utility savings or expenses such as eliminated disposal costs. Some examples of these are for lights, obviously electric savings, HVAC could be natural gas savings, dental, waste disposal costs, and not having to buy chemicals, And something like a commercial grill replacement, again, would be electric or natural gas saving. Our estimated current opening, so I do have late July 2024. It looks like the earliest is going to be August 2nd. So we're still going through internal approvals for the new round. That said, projects starting on or after July 1 will be considered for funding. So you can start your projects, but you can't submit an application just yet. We will announce it on the Small Business Advantage Grant website and in the Pennsylvania Bulletin when we have our official open date. I'm a little clicky today. Sorry, guys. So the grant funds are reimbursement of eligible expenses. Again, to reiterate, you have to pay all of your vendors in full, and then you get a reimbursement from the department. It covers equipment-only costs, so no labor or installation. The maximum grant awards for the project types have gone up pretty significantly this year compared to prior years. So now the range is the lesser of 50% or up to $7,500, or up to 80% up to $12,000. And what affects that is whether the project's in an environmental justice area and whether it has a significant environmental impact. So those are the two bump ups that are possible, but the minimum you're eligible for is at least 50% of your project costs, eligible costs. So, and just a reminder, there's a general application checklist in the program guidelines that'll help you gather all the documents and information you need before applying, as well as the project type checklist that provide you with information that you need by specific project type. This is an online application process. Grants are awarded on a first come, first served basis, so you'll want to act quickly once the grant opens up. So the next two slides review the significant program changes for this year. As I mentioned, funding levels are going up. So we're still going to range 50 to 80%, but the maxes are 7,500 up to 12,000. We did keep the higher potential funding for projects in environmental justice areas or projects with significant environmental impact. Oh, too much. For the grant calculator, there's no more macros. So last year we had tried to implement a calculator with macros in it that open and close things. We had a lot of tech incompatibility, so we took those out so that shouldn't cause problems anymore for anyone. We also have a new section for non-agricultural natural resource protection projects. Additionally, previously coin-operated machinery was ineligible for funding. We are opening that up this year with some restrictions. So to be eligible, the minimum requirements are that a coin or token or credit-operated equipment is commercial grade and is part of the core operation of a business, not an amenity for staff or customers. So determining eligibility for that may require some consultation with department staff. So something like a laundromat would be eligible where, you know, those machines are part of the business. If you're trying to replace the vending machine in the break room, that's not a project that we'd really consider. So talk to us if you have something that you're interested in. Again, don't worry, we are here to help. And then non-agricultural natural resource protection is for projects that are in urban or suburban areas that reduce pollution in local or regional waterways. So clarifications were made regarding the eligibility of commercial real estate, coin token and credit operated machines, and non-ag natural resource protection. Right, so these are just the basics for eligibility. There's further information in the program guidelines on eligibility of applicants and projects. So I suggest you review those carefully before applying. So eligible applicants are for-profit businesses. They're registered if they're required and taxed in PA. They have 100 or fewer full-time equivalent employees for the entire company. And some businesses attached to residences and commercial properties with certain conditions could be eligible. Ineligible applicants are anyone not meeting the conditions above, anyone with current or unresolved environmental violations, financial or other obligations to the Commonwealth, and franchisees. I think I went too far. Yeah. Okay. So applicants may submit more than one application. No business or businesses with ownership in common will be awarded more than the maximum grant award of between 7,500 and 12,000 from the program during the fiscal year. So if you have a secondary project or you're thinking about combining projects, just contact us before you submit so that we can figure out the best way for you to get the the biggest bang for your buck, as it were. This chart basically shows what the bump ups would be if you have multiple projects and whether you could get the full max amounts. Okay, and as noted, it is much easier if you can combine projects into a single application rather than submitting two separate applications. So you can do combined projects. We've had a lot of them in the past where someone will do like lighting and HVAC together, or similar combinations. So this is for eligible projects. So they're eligible if they install equipment or materials resulting in energy efficiency or pollution prevention, adopt processes which reduce energy consumption, reduce consumption of raw materials, increase the reuse of raw materials on site, reduce the production of waste, or reduce sediment, nutrient runoff, or other pollution into directly affected waterways. This must be a replacement or an upgrade of an existing equipment. New equipment or new facilities are generally not eligible. There are some exemptions for trucks and natural resource protection projects. Okay, so these, I did not advance the slide. This is a very sensitive clicker. So these are some of the project types you may want to consider based on prior successful projects. So obviously LED lighting is a big one, digital X-ray upgrades, and HVAC are our other two large categories that we get a lot for. But really we do a lot of variation in projects. So we've done air compressors, a commercial grill replacement, pottery kilns, things like commercial refrigeration as well. So projects are not limited to this list. These are just some examples. We will consider any project that meets the program requirements for eligibility, so feel free to be a little innovative. If you're unsure if something will be eligible, please reach out to the SBO office before submitting an application to review any questions or concerns. Again, these are some examples of the projects that were completed last year under the general categories. So we have, some very general categories that you would apply under. Again, obviously lighting is our big one. HVAC also has a significant chunk. And then we actually had a large variety of projects that went under the other tab. So you don't have to fit one of the prescribed topics. You can, excuse me, you can use the other tab for projects that don't really fit anywhere else. Then these, I'm not sure how well you can see these, but these are some of the specific project types that were completed last year. And again, you can see that lighting dominated both general and specific, but many other project types were completed. So we did split between interior, external, and combined lighting. But you can see we did a grain dryer. We've done freezer cases. We did a diesel generator replacement for a food truck. That was a really interesting project where they're now a plug-in food truck. We did a projector for a children's activity facility. So there's a really broad spectrum of projects that are possible, and some really interesting ones that have been done. Okay. Moving right along. So this is a direct link to the program page for the Small Business Advantage grant. I've also included the full web link in case the link doesn't work. In this section, you should look for the Small Business Advantage grant documents, and it will have the 2024 documents posted once the grant round opens. So do not use documents or form labeled with prior years because there have been changes. So, now we'll move on to the Pollution Prevention Assistance Account Loan. This is the second program offered through the SBO office. This is a low interest loan program jointly administered by DEP and DCED. There's over 1.69 million available as of July 2024. It is a revolving loan program and does not close. It's for Pennsylvania-based small businesses with 100 or fewer full-time equivalent employees. And several of these were approved within the last year. So people are applying and getting approved. And these are more for longer term, larger projects versus the SBAG, which is really for things that can be done quickly and easily. So loan funds may be used to purchase equipment or implement process changes which fulfill one or more of the following. So reduce or reuse raw materials on site, reduce production of waste at the source, or significantly reduce energy consumption. DEP and DCED anticipate businesses will pay back the loan through savings realized through reductions in the cost of raw materials, waste disposal, or energy use. Oh, too far. Applicants must work with your local Certified Economic Development Organization, or CEDO, to apply. You'll be able to find the closest CEDO to you through that website. There may be more than one for you to choose from. The department does not specify which one you use, but they have to be on the list. So the loan would cover up to 75% of total eligible project costs. It is a 2% fixed rate loan for the life of the loan, with a 10-year maximum term. And the maximum loan amount is $100,000 for any 12-month period. So again, I provided the direct link for the program and the full website. And for this, you should look for the sections labeled application and application process. These sections explain the loan application process, which is a bit more complex than the grant application process. Okay. Now we're moving into the last couple slides. So in addition to the SBO office, the department's energy programs office also runs several financial incentive programs. I've, again, provided direct link and the full website. So multiple funding opportunities for energy projects ranging from energy management automation to building envelope measures to more efficient operations. There's a wide range of financial incentives such as loans, grants, and rebates available for the businesses for various measures like alternative fuels, high efficiency variable speed drives, motors, lighting, compressed air, pumps, and HVAC systems, and for the installation of renewable energy. More information is available about all of these programs through the links on the prior slide. So the next few slides are going to provide a very brief description of some of the programs available. So the first is, oh, excuse me, the Green Energy Loan Fund, which is the US DOE funded low interest loan financing for energy efficiency retrofit and the installation of energy conservation measures. The Solar Energy Program is financial assistance in the form of grant and loan funds to promote the use of solar energy in Pennsylvania. PETA, the Pennsylvania Energy Development Authority, is an independent public financing authority whose mission is to finance clean and advanced energy projects in Pennsylvania. CPACE is the Commercial Property Assessed Clean Energy Program. So that's an innovative financing program launched in 2018 that provides business property owners access to low interest, long-term loans for clean energy and clean water projects that are repaid as a property tax to benefit the community. And finally, there is a publication available from the EPO, which is the Energy Financial Incentives for Pennsylvania Businesses. And that provides links to multiple state and federal agency energy efficiency or environmental improvement funding programs. And finally, in addition to the SBO and EPO offerings, there are a number of grant and loan programs offered by the department for environmental improvement projects. I provided a direct link in the full website to the department's Grants, Loans, and Rebates page. The programs are sorted by applicant type to make it easier to search. So for example, there's residential, business, school, so you guys could just look under the business heading. The page also provides a list of funding programs that are currently accepting applications. If you've never applied for funding from the department before, the Grant Center website has a Grants 101 recorded presentation that walks you through the basics of the funding application process. Although this presentation is geared towards businesses, sometimes we do get applications that don't qualify under business eligibility. We still like to encourage those types of projects, so I've also provided a link to the department's page for energy efficiency incentives for residents. And this concludes my overview of the energy efficiency and pollution reduction funding programs available through the Department of Environmental Protection. This slide does have my contact information, and additional contact information is available in the specific program guidelines. Unfortunately, I am not going to be available for questions after the webinar, but PennTap will provide any questions that they cannot answer to me, and I will get back to you with those responses. So I thank you for your time, and I will turn it back over to Amy.
Thank you so much, Samantha. Always great to hear about the Small Business Advantage Grant. That's one that a lot of our clients take advantage of. It's a really great program. So next you're going to be hearing from Eric and Deanna, and they're going to discuss First Energy's Pennsylvania EDC CNI programs that they administer. So you can take it away, Eric.
Thanks, Amy. As Amy mentioned, you'll be hearing from myself, Eric Minard, and Deanna Weaver from Franklin today. What we'll be discussing is First Energy's commercial and industrial incentive programs offered for First Energy customers throughout Pennsylvania. All right, so first we'll talk about Act 129. I'll give a little bit of a background on what Act 129 is. It was established in 2008. It is managed by the Pennsylvania Public Utilities Commission. The goal of the Act 129 law is to reduce peak demand and energy consumption. There have been 4 previous phases. Right now, we are currently in phase 4 that started back in 2021 and ends in 2026. This is actually a line item that is on the customer's utility bill, which you will see as energy efficiency charge phase 4. Looking at this slide here, just give you a background on what electrical demand is and what the consumption is. So electrical demand, kW, which stands for kilowatts, it measures the rate at which electricity is consumed at a given moment, reflecting the instantaneous power requirement. And then we have energy consumption, which is kWh, which stands for kilowatt hours. On the other hand, it quantifies the total amount of electricity used over a period of time, indicating the cumulative consumption. Those peak demand hours for kW are defined during the hours of 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on non-holiday weekdays from June 1st through August 31st. So there's 2 different incentive pathways. As I mentioned, I work with Wildan, and then you'll hear from Franklin, Indiana, after I'm done today. With Wildan pathways, there's a few different programs that we offer. We have an energy management bucket, a new construction bucket, and then the custom building improvements. Some of the details on that are we offer a higher enhanced incentive based on kilowatt hours and kilowatt savings. 3 of the 4 of our programs do require pre-approval. The buildings that are eligible for these programs are existing buildings and new construction, and we do offer a 180-day look-back period. So these are the 4 different incentive programs that Williams has implemented and manages for First Energy and PA. We have the Building Tune-Up Program, the Retro Commissioning Program, the Custom Building Improvements Program, and the Commercial New Construction Program. We also have a building operator training that we offer for customers. In the next few slides, I'll give a rundown of the Building Tune-Up Program, the RCX program, and the Building Operating Program, as well as the Custom Building Improvements and the Commercial New Construction Program. So this is the map. It depicts the First Energy territory in Pennsylvania, and also the members of outreach that handle each territory. So you'll see in the light green is the Penelec territory. You'll see in the darker orange is the Met Ed or Met Edison territory. In the light orange, you have the West Penn territory, and then in the blue, we have the Penn Power territory. This shows you the eligible sectors for customers in Pennsylvania. We do commercial, community, education, government, healthcare, industrial, and retail customers. So first, we'll start off with the Building Tune-Up Program. Building Tune-Up Program offers enhanced incentives to offset upfront costs for energy-efficient lighting, HVAC, and refrigeration improvements in existing commercial and industrial buildings. Building Tune-Up measures provide non-energy benefits such as improved comfort, enhanced air quality, reduced occupant complaints, and lengthened equipment life. We have restructured the program in an effort to drive multi-measure projects that deliver greater energy and demand savings compared to standalone measures. A couple of checkpoints that I want to go over here is that with the Building Tune-Up Program, projects must be pre-approved. This program offers the highest available incentives for most of the measures, and we are able to combine multi-measures to maximize the incentive savings. Oh, I think we went one too far. Trying to go back here. Yep. Forward one, please. Okay. So this is the incentive structure for the Building Tune-Up Program. For HVAC, you will see we have for SCI customers, 50 cents per kilowatt hour saved. And for LCI customers, it's 70 cents per kilowatt hour saved. For refrigeration, we have for SCI customers, again, the same, 50 cents per kilowatt hour saved, 70 cents per kilowatt hour saved for LCI customers, capped at 80% of total project costs. For food service, 50 cents per kilowatt hour saved for small commercial and industrial customers, and 70 cents per kilowatt hours saved for LCI customers, capped at 80% of total project costs. At the bottom there, you'll see that lighting has 3 different tiers. We can accept lighting-only projects, but there does need to be some type of lighting control optimization included in the project. The first tier at the bottom, you will see is 25 cents per kilowatt hour saved, capped at 50% of total project costs. Projects fall into this tier if 85% or more of the project savings are from lighting. The second tier is 30 cents per kilowatt hour saved, capped at 60% of total project cost. Projects fall into this tier if the project savings from the lighting range from 75% to 85%. And then the top tier is 35 cents per kilowatt hour saved, capped at 80% of total project costs. And projects fall into this tier if projects fall into this tier if the project savings from lighting is 75% or less. Next, we have the retro commissioning program. Retro commissioning involves a systemic evaluation to 1, improve the efficiency of existing systems, and 2, to identify improvements. RCX also restores buildings to peak performance. A couple of checkpoints here are that buildings must be 2 years or older or 2 years after a major renovation or commissioning. Equipment is in good condition or not in near end of life. Equipment does need to be running. And if there is kind of a question on it, we do have exceptions, or they're considered on a case-by-case basis. Now we'll be talking about the custom building improvements program. It is designed for existing buildings that are looking to implement an energy efficiency project. Projects fall into 1 or 2 categories for this program. 1 being tailored solutions, energy efficient initiatives specific to a building's unique characteristics, and 2, comprehensive renovations, which are energy efficiency measures such as HVAC, refrigeration, lighting, and building envelope. There are four major benefits to the CBI program. This one is that this program is all inclusive and allows unique energy efficiency measures to be incentivized. If your facility is saving energy in a unique way, contact us and we'll explore ways to help you capture energy efficiency incentives from your projects. The second benefit of the CBI program is the timing flexibility. No matter where a project sits in design or if it's in construction, it can participate. Projects that are installed or commissioned 180 days before enrollment can qualify. The third benefit is very exciting. Right now we are running a limited time offer until September 27th of 2024. And the fourth benefit is that the CBI program or Custom Building Improvements Program offers a dual incentive arrangement. So if you would like for your contractors to receive a portion of your incentive, there's an option that is also an option. Oops, one too far. So this is the incentives for the Custom Building Improvements Program. As I said, right now we are running a limited time offer until September 27th of 2024, where it is 15 cents per kilowatt hour saved with $400 per peak kW saved. You can see as in comparison, the old rates after the limited time offer ends, that the standard rates are 8 cents per kilowatt hour saved with $150 per kilowatt saved. So this is an example of a snack food manufacturing facility in Hanover, PA that's participated in our Custom Building Improvements Program. This facility is over 70,000 square feet and installed new LED lights and variable frequency drives on their compressors. The estimated project cost is $190,000 with $44,000 in annual energy cost savings, over 330,000 kilowatt hours in electric consumption savings, and about 50 kilowatt in electrical peak savings. The estimated energy efficiency incentive from First Energy is almost $70,000. And again, just want to say that projects that have been completed 180 days ago or are in the process of being complete are eligible for this program. Back one slide, please. All right. So in summary, both the Custom Building Improvements Program, it provides unique ways to capture energy efficiency incentives. Custom Building Improvements is catered to existing buildings with unique energy saving projects and projects that were installed 180 days ago. Just a reminder that we are running a limited time offer for these programs until September 27th of 2024. So act now to take advantage of these higher incentives. And we look forward to working with you. With that, I will be turning it over to Deanna.
Thank you, Eric. Good morning, everyone. My name is Deanna Weaver, and I'm the Senior Program Manager for Franklin Energy. I'm really excited to be here with you guys all this morning. I'm going to spend a little bit of time covering some of the different opportunities that we have for you within our rebate program. So I'm going to try to make it really simple for you, right? Because there's a lot of information, a lot of great information that you already have right now. And you're probably trying to remember all the different things. If you remember one thing from what I say today, it's give us a call, right? So there's my contact information, as well as Sandy Bloom. She's our outreach manager. Reach out to us, right? If you have questions, you're not sure, give us a call. We can help you walk through the program and see what's the best, best path for you to go. So let me start in and we'll kind of talk through the different opportunities that we have. So we run the more traditional prescriptive, custom, and midstream programs. So what we have are a lot of things that you're probably used to seeing. So here are the different market segments that we work in, right? So these are a lot of prescriptive measures like agricultural, appliance and electronics. We have HVAC, we have food service, compressed air, variable frequency drive, all prescriptive type measures. We also have things like commercial lighting. So that is more of a performance base. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. But then we have the other bucket, which is custom, right? So like I always tell people, if you're saving electrical energy, give us a call, right? If it doesn't fall into a prescriptive measure, it could likely fall into a custom measure. And custom is so great because there's so many different things we can look at, right? So it's not just a one-for-one replacement. It can be a process optimization. If you are doing something to your industrial process where you're using less energy, electrical energy per widget that you're making, there might be an opportunity there. So let us know. We can determine if that's an option for you or if it's something that is eligible. We also have solar program, which is really exciting. We see a lot of people participating in that program right now, and I'll talk about that as well. Combined heat and power is another program that we have. So the CHPs that you might hear out at different places, as well as instant discounts. So that's really a point of sale type of program. And those are all the different types of programs that we offer. We, for these programs, have the 180-day look back. So if you've done something in the last 6 months, let us know, right? We could potentially get you some incentive dollars for that to help you for your next project, right? So if you're trying to figure out how are you going to do the next project that you're looking at, maybe you've done something and we can get incentive dollars for that can help boost the next project down the line. So let's get into a little more of the rules, right? There's always rules associated with these things. Like Eric said, the effective date is June 1st of 2021 is when it started through May 31st of 2026. We do have that 180-day look back, and I cannot stress that enough. There's so much things that people just don't think about, or they think it's only lighting, right? Like you only give rebates for lighting. That's not true. So we can always look back. So let's make sure we take advantage of that. It does have to be new equipment. Pre-approval is not required. It is recommended, though. The only caveat is CHP, or combined heat and powers. Those must be pre-approved to participate in the program. But everything else, you do not have to have a pre-approval. But I always like to have people come and talk to us ahead of time, right? The last thing I want you to do is go through an entire project thinking you're going to get some incentive dollars, only to find out that if you would have bought fixture XYZ instead of ABC, you would have gotten money to not getting money. So come check it out first. We can help you through that process. Make sure you are buying the right pieces of equipment, or maybe making a tweak or a change to whatever you're getting to be eligible in the program. And just in that vein, right, lighting must be DLC or Energy Star to be able to participate in the program. So it could be just as easy as one letter in a part number that could change it from being eligible to not being eligible. So really help, we can help you make sure that's an option. I talked a little bit before about the different channels. So prescriptive lighting, there are some, like so many dollars per widget, right? So for an exit sign example, you can get $15 per exit sign. But there's also performance-based lighting. And that is where we look on how much energy are you actually saving with what you're doing for the lighting upgrade, and then we determine how much you get from that. We do have some limited time offers going, which is doubling the incentive. And that's really exciting news right now. So act early, act often, and get them in before the limited time runs up. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the limited time offers because it's such a great deal here. So we have custom, I call them LTOs, so I'll just kind of use that. It is currently doubling the incentive. So if you apply now through September 27th, you can get 10 cents per kWh saved and $300 per PKW. And to remind you what that PKW is, that is from June 1st through August 30th, Monday through Friday, 2 to 6, no holidays, no weekends, right? So if we can shave things out of that area, you can get extra dollars there. So for example, we're working with someone who runs a pump, and they said, we don't need to run it during the day. We can run it in the evening and do the same thing. So now they've taken how they use it out of that peak area. They are then eligible for looking at the $300 per PKW. So just kind of think outside the box for some of that stuff. The solar LTO. So the incentives are currently now doubled as well. So now through September 27th, it's 10 cents per kWh saved. And that's the solar LTO. We also have a lighting optimization LTO. So it's a tiered approach. So it runs now through August 31st. We've doubled the base lighting incentive. So now instead of getting 5 cents, you're getting 10 cents. But if you add different levels of controls, either zone, fixture, or network, you get increased incentive dollars for doing that. If you go to optimize the entire lighting system, then we can look at that as a custom project, and then you'll be eligible for the 10 cents and the $300 per PKW. So that's really a high level of what those LTOs are. Just some of the key fine print, right? So street lights and area lights are capped at $200 per fixture. Prescriptive incentives, so those would be the lighting incentives, are capped at 100% of material cost or $500,000. Custom incentives are capped at 50% of the project cost or $500,000. And solars are capped at 50% of the project cost or $500,000. So that's just some of the nuances. Now you need to apply by those dates, either September or August 31st, and you have 1 year to complete that project. So please think about that and kind of talk to us about different projects you might be working on. And this is eligible for projects that you've done in the past. So if you've done something in the last 6 months, you're eligible for these limited time offers as well to kind of boost your next project that you're working on. So just a little bit more about the solar program. Like I said, there is the increased incentives. You do need to go through the interconnection agreement with First Energy. So there are those steps, and you have to be approved by that whole process and get all your upgrades. We can work alongside with you to kind of work the rebate on the same parallel path as you working through the interconnection agreement. We can pay rebates for up to what you're using behind your meter. So anything you use or produce from your solar array that's above and beyond what your facility uses is not eligible for rebate, but we can pay up to that point. But if you have questions, I know there's probably a lot to go into here. We could spend a whole hour talking about this. Give us a call. We can help you walk through that process. I want to talk a little bit about the instant discount program, right? So that's another delivery channel that we have. It's really a great opportunity, especially for things like if you have maintenance people going out and just buying maintenance light fixtures or something. This is really the way to go. Why? It's easy. There's no paperwork. There's no wait. You come in, you find a participating distributor, or you go to your distributor that you usually use and just ask them, are you participating in the program? You make sure that you have the information about your account number so they can validate that you are eligible for the program. And then you buy something that's a qualified product, you get the rebate right at the time of purchase. Super easy, all done, and away you go. So that's really great for like those onesie, twosie maintenance type things, for sure. But we have that with lighting, HVAC, and food service. So you can always visit our website for the most up-to-date list of people that are participating. But like I said, that changes frequently. So go to your distributor, see if they are participating. If they're not and they want to, have them reach out to us and we can get them set up as well. So I always like to give a couple examples to kind of put this into perspective, right? So this is an example of a school district. They have a pool that uses some pumps and they decide to add VFDs to them. So it's not a huge project, but like I'm saying, it doesn't matter what size your project is, you can participate in the program. This school ran a 15 horsepower and a 1 horsepower booster pump 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Didn't really need to be running it that way, but that's how they ran it. They added VFDs to both of those pumps. They were able to save 48,000 kilowatt hours per year, right? So result of that, they got a rebate from First Energy for just a little over $3,200. Now, from electric bill savings, they were saving about $2,400 a year, and that happens year after year, right? If they would have ran this program through the LTO, so if it was in that time frame, they could have received just a little bit north of $6,400 or 50% of that project cost, right? So it's really exciting that they could, get that money to do just a simple project, right? So it doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be crazy, but there's money out there for this stuff to be done. And the nice thing is, these can be layered with all the stuff that Samantha talked about earlier, some of the different types of grants and things. We can layer this stuff on. So it's really great there. Next thing I wanted to talk about was a lighting project, right? So we have a lighting LTO. It's really about looking at the project holistically, trying to look at what we can do with controls. This is a really great time to be able to do stuff like that. So here's an industrial facility. Their scope was they were upgrading their lighting from metal halides to LEDs. They did a 1-for-1 retrofit. They were saving around 175,000 kilowatt hours per year. So with the standard rebate before the limited time offers, they would get about $87.50. That's how much they would get for that upgrade. So if they look back and say, okay, I'm in the LTO stage, right? Like, so I'm gonna look at the same facility and I'm gonna do the same thing, do a 1-for-1 retrofit from metal halides to LEDs, but I'm going to take advantage and add lighting controls. So you do a couple things. You increase your incentive, but you also increase the amount of electricity you're saving per year. So if you can see, the savings for the adding controls is about, it goes from 175 to 225,000 kWh with the controls. So what results from that is, because of the LTO, you can get a rebate of possibly $31,500 as compared to the $87.50. That really helps you try to cover the cost of those controls. And, that would be up to 100% of the material cost or $500,000. So it's really exciting time to be working with some of these different projects. And you can apply as many times as you like, right? So it's not just, you can only apply once, you can apply for as many projects as you have. So if you're doing a lighting project and you're doing it in phases, we can apply in phases. You can use the money from the one to start the next. There's a lot of different things you can do. But that's really just kind of wanted to give you that information. And to kind of finish it all up and put a bow on top, as I said in the beginning of the presentation, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to walk you through the process. And get you involved in the program. And thanks again, Amy, for asking us to participate. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you.
Great. Thank you very much, Deanna and Eric. Always exciting to hear about the Act 129. And it's such an easy thing for companies to take advantage of working with you guys. So I really appreciate your time as well today. So, in addition to First Energy, so I'm the South Central Technical Advisor, as I mentioned earlier in the webinar. So many of my clients are First Energy clients. So I want to make sure that I let you know that in addition to First Energy, other Pennsylvania utilities offer incentives for reducing energy usage as well. So PP&L Electric Utilities offers direct discounts through their contractor network for measures such as lighting, compressed air, and refrigeration. And if you want to do lighting upgrades yourself, instant discounts on qualified products are available through participating distributors. Clear Results administers these programs for PPL, and you can reach out through the link on the slide. Duquesne Light Company is ready to help whether you operate a small local business or are part of a large commercial chain. They offer incentives for upgrading HVAC, lighting, refrigeration, food service equipment, and new construction energy efficiency design. Again, for projects that don't fit within the standard incentives, check out the custom incentives. PECO offers incentives to upgrade your equipment for increased energy efficiency for high-performance building designs used in new construction, to improve the efficiency of your compressed air system, and for saving energy by upgrading your data center equipment. For projects, again, that don't fit within the standard incentives, they offer custom incentives as well. UGI Utilities offers financial incentives for both natural gas and electricity customers. Again, using these links, you'll be able to contact them and get details on the programs. So now let's talk about sustainable energy funding that's available across the state. These funds were created as a result of the restructuring plans of the 5 electric companies. The funds are designed to promote the development of sustainable and renewable energy programs and clean air technologies on both a regional and statewide basis. The funds have provided more than 20 million in loans and 1.8 million in grants to over 100 projects. A statewide sustainable energy board was formed in 1999 to enhance communications among the 4 funds and the state agencies. So one of those funds is the West Penn Energy Fund. It's a nonprofit organization that invests in the deployment of sustainable energy technologies that benefit West Penn Power ratepayers in Pennsylvania. WPEF investments are focused in 3 broad categories: deployment of sustainable and clean energy technologies, deployment of energy efficiency and conservation technologies, facilitating economic development, environmental betterment, and public education as they relate to sustainable energy deployment in the WPP service region. The WPEF seeks to develop a diversified portfolio of sustainable energy investments. Applications can be submitted through the year, and they have 2 primary project financing offerings, which is conventional financing and Act 129 energy microloans. Sustainable Energy Fund, the SEF, is an independent nonprofit that assists energy users in overcoming educational, financial, and regulatory barriers to a sustainable energy future, a future in which energy is harvested, converted, distributed, and utilized in a manner that allows all to meet their energy needs now without compromising the ability of their children and grandchildren to meet their needs. SEF vocation is to enable influencers to effect a response by an energy user to take action to move towards a regenerative energy future. This combines their core value, core process, and core purpose in a way that makes their essence actionable. SEF is dedicated to taking the necessary steps to develop as a business so that we can see this vocation through in a way that will positively impact the community and the energy industry. CPACE was mentioned earlier, and again, these links allow you to look at each of the offerings through the SEF. Next is the MedEd Penelec Sustainable Energy Fund. The MedEd Penelec Sustainable Energy Fund offers programs related investment ranging from $50,000 to $100,000. Program-related investments are low-interest loans which provide capital that must be paid back. Loans are offered at 4 to 6% interest with a max of 10-year payback period. The final interest rate and loan term will be determined by the fund's advisory committee in partnership with professional loan advisors at JARI. JARI is a nonprofit economic development organization based in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. All interest paid back on the loans will be used to keep the fund active and to provide funding for future projects. The fund is currently accepting application inquiries from nonprofits and for-profit organizations to support projects that meet the mission of the fund. So an example related to PennTap's work is a high-impact building retrofit where inefficient systems are replaced with clean energy technology and or high-energy savings equipment that is above average or baseline. So these projects will either need a recent energy audit performed by a certified unbiased third party or have work with a technical assistant representative. So the goal of the funding is to support projects that showcase the cost savings and energy savings inherent in applying green, sustainable, and or natural building techniques in communities where the buildings can serve as examples to others. So now we're going to move away from utility-related programs. Unfortunately, our USDA representative was not able to join us, but fortunately for her, she is on vacation. So I'm going to present the USDA Rural Energy for America program. PennTap works closely with the U.S. Department of Agriculture's team that administers the Rural Energy for America program known as REAP. REAP provides guaranteed loan financing and grant funding to agricultural producers and rural small businesses for renewed energy systems or to make energy efficiency improvements. REAP grants can fund up to 50% of eligible project costs. Renewable energy systems have a minimum total project cost of $10,000 and a max grant request of $1 million. Energy efficiency improvements have a minimum total project cost of $6,000 and a max grant request of $500,000. Maximum assistance to an application in a fiscal year is $1.5 million. To be eligible for up to 50% federal grant share, an applicant must meet one of the 4 criteria: be a renewable energy system or RES retrofit that produces 0 greenhouse gas emissions at the project level, be located in an energy community as defined in the IRA statute, be an energy efficiency improvement project, or be a project proposed by a tribal corporation or other tribal business entity. All other projects that do not fit into one of these categories are eligible for up to 25% federal grant share. So who is eligible to apply for REAP? First, rural small businesses. A small business is an entity that meets the SBA size standards and meets one of the following entity types: a private for-profit entity, a cooperative, an electric utility, or a tribal corporation or other tribal business entity. All other nonprofit entities are not eligible for REAP. An eligible small business must be located in a rural area or non-metro communities of 50,000 population or less. The agency maintains an eligibility website where you can search your proposed project location to determine rural area eligibility. An ag producer is also eligible. An ag producer is an individual or entity that receives 50% or more of their income from agricultural operations. An agricultural producer is defined as a person, including nonprofits, directly engaged in the production of agricultural products through labor management and operations, including the cultivating, growing, and harvesting of plants and crops, including farming, breeding, raising, feeding, or housing of livestock, including ranching, forestry projects, hydroponics, nursery stock, or aquaculture, whereby 50% or greater of their gross income is derived from the operations. An ag producer can be located in rural areas or in non-rural areas as long as there is production on the project site. So what types of projects can USDA assist with? Assistance is available to make energy efficiency improvements to your operations. They include high efficiency heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems, insulation, lighting, cooling or refrigeration units, doors and windows, compressed air, switching from a diesel to electric motor, replacement of energy inefficient equipment, and incorporation of smart controls. The technology must be commercially available. Therefore, research and development projects do not qualify. Example of businesses utilizing the program: greenhouses upgrade to energy efficient roofs, radiant heat, fans, vents, and computerized controls. Poultry farm install radiant heat and upgrades to efficient fans and vents, computer controls, and LED lighting. Irrigation improvements include electric, solar, or gravity pumps for sprinkler pivots and switching from a diesel to electric irrigation motor. Food processors replace low efficiency motors and incorporate smart controls. Manufacturers replace aged air compressors and incorporate LED lighting with building controls. Use of funds can be eligible project costs, equipment, which is purchased and installed, new or refurbished, post-application construction and facility improvements, retrofitting, professional service fees, permits and license fees, working capital and land acquisition are part of the loan only with restrictions. Ineligible project costs, residential energy projects are not eligible. Farm tillage equipment, used equipment, and vehicles are not eligible. Pre-application construction and facility improvements, application preparation or grant writer fees, line of credit, lease payments, payment to the applicant, business owner, beneficiary, or relative are not eligible project costs. So USDA REAP is a very competitive reimbursement grant. The agency announced in March 2023 the availability of over $1 billion in Inflation Reduction Act funds across 6 quarterly competitions to be obligated by September 30th of 2024. Applications not funded roll over to the next quarter. For example, applications that were submitted in September of 2023 that were not funded move on to the next round of competition to be considered. If not funded by the end of the fiscal year, which is October 1st to September 30th, the application must be withdrawn. Assuming that this program continues through the next fiscal year, a new application can be submitted. Please keep in mind that these applications have closed dates, but the applications can be submitted at any time throughout the year. Until the next Federal Register notice is published, we don't know the funding levels or details of the 2024-25 REAP. PennTap will be sure to include the information when available in a monthly newsletter, so be sure to sign up. Again, the next quarterly competition closes September 30th of 2024. To complete an application for this program, you must be pre-registered with the System for Award Management, which is SAM, and also have a unique entity ID. Neither of these applications cost money, but they can take some time, so you want to make sure you take care of them right away. If you're already registered within the system, you don't need to do it again. The forms are available in multiple formats for downloading and completing electronically based on your needs. The REAP selection process is designed to ensure that funds are allocated to the most effective and impactful projects in rural communities. Applications for both grants and loan guarantees are evaluated using a competitive scoring system that considers a range of criteria, including energy generation or savings, length of payback period, location in a disadvantaged or distressed community, environmental benefits, and more. Additionally, the selection process ensures that funds are distributed fairly and equitably among eligible applicants, promoting the development of a diverse range of renewable energy and energy efficiency projects across the country. Applications are assessed based on several criteria, each carrying a specific point value. There are 100 available points, and the main criteria for scoring include environmental benefits, such as the proposed project does not produce greenhouse gases at the project level, does not convert farmland, does not contribute to deforestation, and/or improves water conservation. Quality of energy generated, replaced, or saved per grant dollar requested. Points are awarded based on the amount of energy the project is expected to generate or save, with higher points for more significant energy savings or generation. Commitment of matching funds. Points awarded if the applicant has confirmed written commitments of more than 50% of needed funds. Previous grantees and borrowers. 15 points are awarded if the applicant has never received from USDA. 15 points will be awarded if the project site is located in a disadvantaged community or a distressed community. If the simple payback of the project proposed is less than 4 years, 15 points are awarded. Higher payback periods earn reduced points. The state director or administrator, at their discretion, may award up to a maximum of 10 priority points for projects which meet certain criteria, such as the applicant is a member of an underserved or unserved population. The proposed project is in a federally declared major disaster area, etc. A few reminders and thoughts about my experiences with clients. Starting a project before an application is complete may make your project ineligible. Any payments made prior to an application being completed are not eligible project costs. You'll be advised via email and mail when your application is complete, and at that time can begin your project. Again, REAP is a very competitive reimbursement grant. Notification of award can take 2 to 6 months. Many projects are completed due to necessity before they are notified of award status. Awarded REAP grants are considered taxable income. You'll receive a 1099-G from the agency, so you want to make sure that you consult your tax professional. Not all programs can be combined on the same project. Be sure that you're verifying eligibility when applying. For example, the federal REAP and NRCS EQIP grant funding together cannot exceed 50% of the project total. However, some federal investment tax credits can be utilized when awarded a REAP grant. Energy efficiency improvement application energy savings are based on the last 12 to 60 months of utility bills at the same address as the project. Therefore, new operations are not eligible. This relates to expanding operations as well. These projects are for energy consumption reduction. REAP applicants must have control of the project site for the useful life of the project. If the applicant does not own the site and non-severable equipment or improvements are being proposed, a long-term lease between REAP applicant and the site owner will be required. And finally, Davis-Bacon wage rates do not apply to REAP. Another open opportunity is the IAC implementation grants. This information was provided to us by the Office of Manufacturing and Energy Supply Chains. IAC implementation grants were provided by Bipartisan Infrastructure Law Provision 40521.B1. There's $80 million in funding available in the first year. Additional funding may be available in the next couple years, depending on the demand for the grants. Grant awards of up to $300,000 per quarterly funding round at a 50% cost share. Eligibility exclusively for small and medium-sized manufacturing firms and water and wastewater treatment facilities. To address energy assessment recommendations by IAC, DOE combined heat and power on-site energy technical assistant partnerships or other third-party assessors deemed equivalent by DOE. Covered projects include energy assessment report recommendations that improve site energy and/or material efficiency, improve site cybersecurity infrastructure, improve site productivity, reduce site waste production, reduce site greenhouse gas emissions and/or non-greenhouse gas pollution. All three grant eligibility requirements can be determined using either last completed fiscal year or year in which the assessment was completed. Grant eligibility requirements: annual gross sales of less than 100 million, fewer than 500 employees, and annual energy bills between 100,000 and 3.5 million. PennTap is a third-party assessor qualified as an IAC equivalent. So the application process, you can scan the QR code here. You can apply for the IAC grant on a rolling basis. So your application can be submitted anytime throughout the year. The next deadline is October 1st of 2023 by 3 p.m. Later deadlines will be announced. Energy Works is the administrator of this program, and they have a very simple and straightforward application form and process that can be found through this link. They offer informational monthly office hours. So the next one is August 15th and then September 19th. You'll be able to ask questions, and then also you can review frequently asked questions through this link. Tips for a strong application. Over 75 manufacturers have been selected for grants in the program's first few months alone. If you're eligible, apply soon and complete the items above correctly. There's a high chance that you'll be funded. Make sure that you're eligible to apply based on gross annual sales, annual energy bills, and employees at the facility site as laid out by the law. For previous applicants, leverage the feedback on your past applications to address any key gaps. Ensure that the recommendations are clearly listed in the attached qualified assessment report and not already implemented, and therefore eligible for funding. And be sure to ask questions, including attending the monthly office hours for answers. Again, here's your QR code so that you can scan that and make a connection. And PennTap, as I mentioned, is an IAC equivalent for the assessment. So PennTap, I'm going to tell you a little bit about us and how we can support you in these programs. Pennsylvania's Technical Assistance Program at Penn State, PennTap, has been around for almost 60 years. Because we are a grant-funded organization, our services have changed throughout the years, but our mission has been the same. Our mission is to provide Pennsylvania companies with technical assistance and access to Penn State's talented faculty and students in order to solve business challenges. Simultaneously, PennTap provides Penn State faculty and students with opportunities to broaden their impact, expertise, and experiences through engaged applications. PennTap has a diverse staff with backgrounds in chemical engineering, electrical engineering, environmental science, manufacturing, entrepreneurship, and community and economic development. Our staff includes 3 certified energy managers, certified water efficiency professional, professional geologist, a lead green associate, and 6 Sigma green belts. We provide our services through 2 pillars, the first being energy and environment. Our energy and environment work focuses on pollution prevention and energy efficiency projects. We also have the opportunity to take projects to the next level with economy, energy, and environmental assessments and energy management systems. The most common energy service is the P2E2, which refers to our pollution prevention and energy efficiency assessments. These assessments are at no cost to our PA small to mid-sized manufacturers. In this work, PennTap will complete an on-site assessment. We evaluate the facility's utility consumption, which includes learning about the facility's processes, equipment, and operations. We analyze the data and provide a report that can assist with planning future building and equipment upgrades. If a company has an upgrade in mind, we will be able to assist with grant applications that can reduce the payback on the energy efficiency improvement projects. Again, these assessments are typically at no cost to the business. The second pillar of services is innovation. Through engagement with faculty, students, and facilities, we can help Pennsylvania businesses develop new products and save time with process improvements. Technology assessments and entrepreneurial assistance is the foundation of our innovation services. Faculty and student engagement is a valued innovation resource. There are opportunities across the Commonwealth for student engagement with industry. In some cases, it's a capstone course, and it's an industry or classroom collaboration organized by a faculty member. Our wide range of resource partners bring different tool sets to complement PennTap's suite of services. Our resource partners include small business development centers, industrial resource centers, Ben Franklin Technology Partners, local development districts, the Strategic Early Warning Network, and others. With technical advisors in every region of the state, PennTap can make personal connections to the economic development representatives working in every region. We are very proud of our 2023 impact as reported by our clients. Our clients reported $8.4 million in economic benefits and 26 jobs created or saved. We educated over 1,000 individuals and engaged with more than 220 students. 47% of our 95 client cases were in environmental justice areas. The work we do at PennTap aligns with 9 of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. We do this by educating Pennsylvania manufacturers and Penn State students on energy efficiency and pollution prevention measures, which lead to clean water and help to keep energy affordable. We promote responsible consumption and production at the facilities we visit, which reduces their carbon footprint. And connecting clients to our network of statewide resource partners ensures that they have the support needed to continue to grow in a sustainable manner. So how do we find funding? We go to the Desire website and start there. Desire is the most comprehensive source of information on incentives that support renewable energy and energy efficiency in the United States. Established in 1995, Desire is operated by the NC Clean Energy Technology Center at North Carolina State University. Desire lists rebates, grants, loans, and tax incentives for each state. And don't forget about your other local resources, such as the Small Business Development Centers, Ben Franklin Technology Centers, Certified Economic Development Organizations throughout the Department of Community and Economic Development, and the Pennsylvania Industrial Resource Center Network. So I want to thank Samantha, Eric, and Deanna for their fantastic presentations. I'm going to take a look and see if we've got any questions. Okay, I'm not seeing anything at this time. So again, if you have any questions that you would like to submit, I'll provide our information at the end of the webinar. And again, you'll receive a recording and a PDF so that you'll have the information at your fingertips. I'd like to offer the following key takeaways from today's presentation. Most funding programs can be combined for energy efficiency projects. Not all projects require pre-approval, but it is strongly encouraged. Some funding programs are competitively graded, while others are first come, first served. So it's important to work with a funding grant specialist to achieve the best results. Again, get those applications in as soon as possible. To stay on top of funding opportunities, university programs, and PennTap incentives, sign up for PennTap's monthly newsletter. You can scan this QR code or send an inquiry to PennTap and make sure that you sign up. This webinar was made possible because of Commonwealth of Pennsylvania funding through the Department of Community and Economic Development. If you're interested in additional information, feel free to reach out to us. We'd enjoy talking with you and finding you help for your business. Thank you very much for attending today's webinar. I hope that you have a great day.